In terms of managers, we've just hearing recently in the last half an hour that Gary ONeal, who I was going to go big and strong about giving him an opportunity, is not in contention to be the Liverpool manager. Let's talk about Ruben Amorim, Lopetegui going to West Ham. As I said, is it too early or are they getting desperate now? Who else can Liverpool get? I've got one name for you that I'm going to discuss in a minute, but who do you think?
With regard to with regard to Liverpool specifically, I actually don't know. I feel like, and I know that I've been conditioned here by years and years of excellence from FSG. So I still believe that they will find the right answer. I still believe that they will come up with the correct successor to Jurgen Klopp. But it does feel like an incredibly difficult job. And in terms of top-tier talent, top-tier managers, they're not really about.
No.
They're not really about.
No.
You know, it's all very well kind of, waxing lyrical about Ruben Amorim. And I'm sure that he has done an excellent job. But it's incomparable to what was once coming out of Portugal. You know when Jose Mourinho came to Stamford Bridge?
Yeah.
He came as the special one, having won the European Cup. He beat that Monaco team. He beat Manchester United on the way to winning the European Cup that year. And he came with a track record and a proof of winning top-tier silverware. Yeah. Even Andre Villas-Boas, who came from the same league, even though it didn't work out, he still came with European pedigree. Amorim's done very well at Sporting. Don't get me wrong, it's very impressive. He's done very well. But it isn't quite comparable to what's gone before. And that is why names like Gary ONeal, Roberto De Zerbi came up.
Yeah.
I think that Gary ONeal has done a fantastic job, but I probably do agree that it's about 1 year too early.
Yeah.
A great season last year with Bournemouth. Outrageously good season this year with Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, 6 weeks ago, I thought they were going to qualify for Europe. Yeah. Prior to that, Lopetegui said they were going down. Yep. They were gone. So he's done exceptionally well. If that continues next year, say he has another year like this, maybe takes Wolves to the top 8, maybe Wolverhampton Wanderers are playing in Europe because of Gary ONeal's excellence and brilliance on the sideline, I think he then becomes part of that conversation, which demonstrates that the wealth of talent out there isn't quite what it once was.
Yeah.
You've got a world now where Mauricio Pochettino is seen as being a top-tier manager.
Yep.
A decade ago, Mauricio Pochettino wasn't anywhere near that. People would see him as elite. I don't even think he's very good. Mikel Arteta hasn't won anything significant for 4 years, and he's won one trophy in his entire managerial career. People try and tell you that he's top 3 managers in the league.
Yep.
I think Aston Villa have an absolute jewel in the crown.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
The fact he signed a new contract for them and not...
It's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, with the rumours of Erik ten Hag leaving and potentially he could be in there to replace him. That's incredible. My only argument with you there, Rory, in terms of Gary ONeal is why wait? You've said how well he done against Bournemouth, for Bournemouth, arguably in the shout for manager of the season, keeping them in the division. You've also stated how well he's done at Wolves. If it wasn't for his... Look, everyone has injuries, but a big injury crisis that he's had at Wolves. They might have made it again. Then there's arguments manager of the season. So why wait a year? Is it in hope that he does poorly or...
No, I think it's solidifying the man that... I think you and I are in harmony here, Darren. I think we agree that he deserves a chance and 100%. Agree that he's brilliant. The reason why I think he just has a little bit more to prove is how I see it.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I would suggest caution is the way forward is because there have been many case studies of English managers, very recently in fact, where they have been perhaps promoted too soon and been proved to fail.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard is the obvious example, had a very good first season.
I was going to ask you about him. Is there any way that he would be, only because what he's done at Liverpool as a player, would he be included in the list?
No, I don't.
Maybe bottom of 10?
I don't. I think you could make a list of 40 and he's not. I really do. I don't think Steven Gerrard is in the reckoning. What I'm not doing, because I find this very frustrating, what I'm not doing is writing Steven Gerrard off ever managing Liverpool.
Yeah.
That
you think he's got to go away and do something?
I think it's going to take some time. He needs to rebuild his reputation. But let's remember that when he took over Aston Villa, that team were going down under him, and his reputation took a huge hit. Yeah. Particularly when you think when he took them over, they weren't really in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
And the team that they are today, it shows you what was possible.
Yep.
So his reputation is in tatters. But what really does frustrate me, and we have a tendency to do this here quite often about English managers, like we will. I think that the general consensus of football fans, unless you are a Chelsea or a Liverpool fan, is that Lampard and Gerrard are done as managers. Wayne Rooney's had one. Wayne Rooney is done as a manager.
Yeah,
and I don't think that any of that is true. I really don't. When you think about, there've been various. Jurgen Klopp got relegated before he took Liverpool to European glory. Arsene Wenger had been sacked before he got Arsenal to a double. Like, managers will learn their craft, perfect their craft, and there is no reason why Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard or Wayne Rooney can't manage a team to a Champions League.
Yep.
But it's a long way away. Yeah, there is no way that Steven Gerrard will be even on a long list.
Yeah, no, look, but there's one man that his name has come up a few times, and for me, I would love to see this happen. Now, I know you're a big fan of him, so I'm going to ask you, Jose Mourinho to Liverpool. Just your reaction there.
I mean, it's very rare. I don't know if it's ever happened before. I'm kind of speechless. No, I don't think.
Big box office, though, wouldn't it?
I think Jose Mourinho is so not in keeping with the traditions of Liverpool Football Club. Remember, I imagine it's more pantomime now, but Mourinho in his Chelsea pomp was persona non grata at Liverpool. Remember when he was shushing them when Steven Gerrard scored that own goal in Cardiff? And the way that we felt about Benitez. Like, remember, Benitez had Chelsea winning a European competition. We went to Amsterdam. Branislav Ivanovic scored in the last minute against Benfica. We won in Amsterdam. Like, it's amazing.
Yep.
We finished third in the league. And we still have absolutely no time for Rafael Benitez. Like, we detested him before he came into the club. Yep. He turned up, finished third, won a European trophy, and we detest him afterwards. And I think that is the same feeling as Liverpool fans would have about Jose Mourinho.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I've seen a little bit of reactions. Look, the majority is not going to want him because, one, I think he may be a little outdated for club football now.
They'll see it as a regressive step.
Maybe international football is the next stage for him. Again, I'd love to see him at England. I just really like him as a manager. But I think Liverpool Football Club and the supporters, if it happened, they would get behind him and the special one would return.
I think he would want the job. I think Mourinho would want the job. I don't think it would happen, but I think it's also important to remember that club rivalries massively matter. And Rafael Benitez was never going to be a good fit for Chelsea. It was never going to work. He was never going to be a good fit for Everton. It was never going to work. And I think that Mourinho, it's important to try and transport yourself to 2008. The antipathy between Chelsea and Liverpool then. Chelsea and Liverpool aren't established rivals. We aren't historic rivals. But if you were a Chelsea fan going to games or a Liverpool fan going to games between 04 and 10, 04 and 12 maybe, there is a swathe of football fans that support those two clubs that would see the other one as their biggest rival. Yeah. We played each other so many times. There were so many classic encounters. There were so many hate-filled moments. And remember, Mourinho arrived in the Premier League a few days before Benitez arrived in the Premier League. They arrived together, and what they represent is so in keeping with their clubs that they were originally at. Yep. I don't think it would work. But I think the Premier League is a better, happier, richer, culturally richer, not financially richer. Yeah. I think the Premier League is just a better place for Jose Mourinho, innit? I want him back at Chelsea, Darren, but I don't think Liverpool is the answer.
No, I mean, look, the special one will return. It'll be box office. It'll be absolutely sensational. Also, we heard earlier from Erik ten Hag, didn't we? And likely to be gone, or, 100% gone in your eyes at the end of the season.
He's gone now. He's gone.
So they're going to go for a couple of managers, and that's what's stated. Two of your favourite managers, actually, Graham Potter, or your absolute favourite, Gareth Southgate.
Actually, I don't think either of these can happen. I think you could make a case, if you wanted to, you could make a case for Graham Potter. You could argue that Graham Potter wasn't really given a fair crack of the whip at Chelsea. And I think a way that I like to always think about it with regard to Graham Potter is, however you thought about Graham Potter, whatever your conclusions of his managerial ability were prior to him signing for Chelsea, is how you should think about him now.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the Chelsea job, he came in midway through the season, it was a basket case of a job, the job ate him up, it swallowed him whole, and it shouldn't really colour your perception of him. So I think that you could argue that Graham Potter deserves a chance. If I was a Manchester United fan, I'd be saying absolutely not. But you can at least spin it. Gareth Southgate I think there would be protests. I genuinely, even if he were to win the Euros.
See, I think he's favourite to get that job.
It would be such a bad appointment. It would be such a guaranteed failing appointment. I think if the choices are, by the way, I hope I've made it clear how I feel about Erik ten Hag and his deficiencies as a good manager. You get that, right?
You'd keep Erik ten Hag though, wouldn't you? as opposed to Gareth Southgate.
Absolutely.
I see that coming.
Yeah, I think as much as I think Gareth Southgate is a good man, and I think he can do a job in football. Yeah. I like him. I genuinely do. I wouldn't be adverse to him having a job at Chelsea somewhere in the framework. But he is about as welcome on the touchline as I am.
I think he's an international manager. I think sometimes international suits managers. I don't think club level quite suits Gareth Southgate. Just quickly as well, Bayern and Barcelona, they'll be looking for new managers. Will that come into play with who potentially goes to United and Liverpool?
Yes, it will, definitely, Darren, because there just aren't the days of 10 elite managers out there. They're just not there at the moment. No. You know, like, we're constantly talking about the same names. We constantly talk about Thomas Tuchel being the right answer to every club because there aren't, you've got, in terms of like available managers, you're looking at Luis Enrique, Zinedine Zidane, Hansi Flick, and Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
We know Thomas Tuchel will be coming to the end of his employment. But Thomas Tuchel could win a European Cup and then be finished at Bayern. So he then has his choice of jobs. Yeah. He would have won the European Cup twice in 3 years. There's suddenly an argument for him being the best manager around.
Yeah, no, look, I agree. And let's hope for everyone's sake, other than Rory's, that Jose Mourinho goes to Liverpool and Gareth Southgate takes the Manchester United job.